How do you feel? How do you feel? No. Let's start on, I'm standing on the existing protocol. I want to thank everybody here, especially the contestants, for our cooperation so far. I think you people have done excellently well. The way it's going, we are doing this thing, we are doing this election on a brotherly manner. And by the grace of God, on Saturday, whoever that wins will embrace his full brother, because there is life after election. Why we organize this particular peace accord is for people, even those that are not aware, that in a community, anywhere election is being held, there must be peace and order. We don't have another place to run to. This is the only home we have. And whomever that is thinking that you will be bringing any kind of violence or any incitement on that day, we're not going to take it lightly with that person, no matter whomever you are. And that is why we prepare this particular peace accord for you people to sign for us, so that the security agents will be witness, so that anybody that violates this particular guidelines of the Electoral Act will face the wrath of the law. We don't have option, because we can't fold our hands because we are having an ordinary brotherly election and allow people to come and bring a kind of violence in the community, which might affect other people or even innocent souls. We won't tolerate that. So we are calling on all of you, the contestants, to be law-abiding, and by the special grace of God, this election will come. After the election, we remain brothers. Even after the election, we'll go to the gap and say, drink. There's life after election. And I pray that by the grace of God, all of us will meet on Saturday and rejoice as brothers, not as enemies.
Popular World TV bringing you the signing of the peace accord between the contestants for the Umueri General Assembly elections scheduled for Saturday the 5th of March 2022.
The chairman of the electoral, yes, and the respected contestants, other persons present here. Good morning. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. I'm here as the DPO in charge of Anambra East local government. I just want to correct an impression. When the PG spoke and the chairman of the electoral body spoke, they said we are here as observers. We are not here as observers because we are indispensable partners in the peace activities, the security activities of the local government. So we are not just observers, we are part of the process, because the peace of Anambra East is our concern. And Anambra East cannot be complete without Umueri. And if there is problem in Umueri, then other parts of Anambra East cannot be in peace until that one is resolved. So I want to start by thanking the organizers of this peace pact. That when I was invited here, I just saw it as a mere ceremony, because I believe that the much I have known Umueri, Umueri is a peaceful place. Before I came down to this place to be the DPO, while in IG's office, I have related with many Umueri people, so many of them. So when I came here, it was like a homecoming. I feel comfortable, and some of you could see that I relate more with Umueri people than people from other communities in Anambra East. Then for the contestants, I just want to remind you that leadership is just a call to service. I want to reasonably believe that the contestants are contesting because they have a desire to serve the community for better. So from experience, we have seen that at times, even at the larger level of political parties, when we hear about crises, those crises are not always caused by the actual contestants, but by their followers who act out of ignorance Because it is said that it is out of ignorance that flies find the broom. So those followers, out of ignorance, they foment trouble where there shouldn't be any. So in this election, I want to believe that it will just come peacefully and go peacefully, like the earlier speakers have said. Umueri will remain one indivisible entity. We should also bear in mind that when there is a position to be contested by 2 or more persons, definitely there must be a winner. So everybody cannot win. There must be a winner and there must be a loser, or losers as the case may be. So whatever happens, we must approach it with the spirit of sportsmanship, that when a winner emerges, the loser embraces him and then registers his readiness to work with the winner, because the primary interest is the good of Umueri. So I think that where they need to do some work would be to advise their followers, to let them know, just as it has been said, Umueri is one. We are just trying to bring out a leader, because when there is a group, there must be a leader. The administrative head of Umueri is what we are about to elect, and you have to follow due process, and this is part of it. So nobody should come with the mind of saying it must be do or die affair. No. The people who will vote, they have a mind who they want to vote. Let them vote freely, and that is all. Whoever emerges, so be it. If you lose, we prepare for another election. We only pray for long life. As far as there is life, what you don't get now, you can also get tomorrow. With that, the peace we are looking at will be achieved and also sustained. Thank you and God bless.
Super World TV bringing you the signing of the peace accord between the contestants for the 5 March 2022 UGA general elections.
Contestants, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I think we have said it all. It's a 4-year or an annual ritual where at the end of any tenure, someone has to go and the replacement has to come. And we have said, you people are brothers and sisters. You are family. There's so much tension in the country, from fuel scarcity to politics and all that. So Umueri is a strategic location. We have the airport and everything. Even the federal government is interested in the development of Umueri. So what we should be looking at, someone that has the heart to serve, a servant leader that can bring development. We need development. We need ideas, new ideas. Someone that can move the community forward. Because whether you like it or not, when the airport is fully functional, foreigners, business partners will all flood this place. So we need someone that can give us tranquil environment where people can run their businesses without fear of failure. So that should be one of the major areas which people should be looking for. Contestants, you know yourself, you know your strength, you know your weaknesses. Talk to your supporters and let the best man emerge. And I wish you well. And we'll all see ourselves on Saturday. Love you.
Thank you so much. Next on the program is the signing of peace accord. I would like to ask the form of question too, just to, one, is it out of place? The signing is signed, what is signed, is it out of place to request the electoral umpire to let the candidates for all these elections, for all these offices, know what are expected from the guidelines on that very day? That is one. Then two, I married a wife gave her conditions how we live, and she obliges what do the aspirants for this election extract from the time union through the electoral committee as a guarantee that the outcome of such this election remains sacrosanct. That the outcome of that election, everything being equal, fair and free. The guarantee from the organizer of this election that outcome of that election must be respected. These are my 2%. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me start from question number 2. As far as this table is concerned, the leadership of the General Assembly, who gave the mandate to the electoral committee to conduct elections for Umueri, we are poised to ensuring that we have a free, fair, and credible elections. I want to assure you that on Saturday, every process of this voting is going to be transparent. It's going to be open to everybody. And as such, if the process is transparent, just like the way it's been going, I don't think there is any other assurance anyone would like to have that day. So I want to assure you that we are going to have a peaceful, transparent, fair, and credible election. That I assure you. All of us will be there, and we'll see everything for ourselves. That is the question number 2. Then the question number 1 is, what was the question number 1 again?
Question number 1, the process of the election. The process of the election.
Yes. That's the process we are adopting. Whether it's option A4 or secret ballot Mr. Chairman, the electoral committee, I think that comes to your table. Please educate our people on the process we are adopting to Saturday's election.
I think we've been going through this process for a very long time. And we told almost all the contestants that what we are going to run is option A4. Option A4. And also, we made it very clear to all the contestants that we don't want a situation whereby outsiders will come and be part of Umueri and vote election. We're not going to entertain that. That is why we made it clear that if you are from Ikenga, who has a line for Ikenga people, they will assemble there. If you are from Otuocha will assemble there. If you are from Mar'22, there will be separate assembling of all these quarters. Then the electoral officers will come and screen them. After the screening, we call on the contestant to come and identify if there is anybody whom they feel is not part of the quota. They can report to us. And if that person is reported to us, we don't have option that to hand that person over to the police. Because we don't want anything that will distract our election. Also, we have said it all, and we have said it here, time without numbers. Anybody who is not up to 18 years, don't attempt to come to the field for voting. We are not going to accept that. And after the accreditation, the electoral committee will identify you by giving what you meant by something like voter's card. You must be with that card. When you are standing, you be with that card. If you are not with that card, you are not entitled to be there. If you are not with our card, raise up during the counting, we walk it out. Because that will identify that you have been accredited. I think briefly, this is what we are going to do. Where are you going to move?
Question. My question goes like this. My humble self is Honorable Iwalugo Henry Ifai from Umueri, contesting for the post of Deputy President General. My question goes, as we are adhering for peace election in our community, will we start the election from the PG or start from the provost?
Don't worry. It's left for electoral committee.
That is left for electoral committee to decide.
choose wherever they want to start.
Okay.
Yeah, my honorable officer. Yeah, I want to speak on the accreditation mode. Okay. Yes, you said after the accreditation you are going to issue a card. Yes. My question now is, has it ever been done that way in Umueri? Or do you want to adopt it? Is it in our constitution? Or do you want to adopt it as a method? This idea.
Thank you very much. If you can remember, elections have been done many times in Umueri. And we will continue to create initiative. We will continue to bring ideas where we will have free and fair election. If that is coming for the first time by these electoral officers, and if it's good, we'll continue with that. What do you want is this?
Okay, then I will suggest, if there is a way it will go,
Yeah.
it is better we know the amount of the cards printed. All of the contestants, we must see it one after another.
Directions.
I'm coming.
No direction is allowed. Let me give you direction. I will not waste your time.
Okay.
You are not voting with a card.
Yes.
You are not voting with a card.
That is just for you to be identified.
Identify. That's why we are
Yes.
Wait. The person with the card is the person that will vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Am I not correct?
Yes.
There is need for us to know the amount of cards available and the people they are giving it, so that after every we are going to know the number of the card issued to the voters, and again the number of the one cast, and the score of the A and the score of the B. It is properly done. We are all politicians.
Let me answer you that question. Yes. Okay.
After this, we may not entertain any other question. We go straight to the business of the day. The truth of the matter is this. Umueri have no voter register as far as this election is concerned.
Yes.
Okay? And again, just like the the Chairman Electoral Committee redirected the last speaker, nobody is going to vote with the card. The card is purely for identification. Okay? That you are from so quarter. Hence, you have been accredited. You are going with this card. Then, when the voting will start proper, because it's going to be option A4 according to the committee, people are going to be counted per head.
Yes.
Just have your card and be counted. If you don't have the card, you will not be counted.
You know the number of the cards you printed for that.
You are more illegal.
Because you don't have a voter register. You don't know a lot of people. You understand? But I want to assure you, I want to assure you, gentlemen, one house please. I want to assure you that anybody who is coming for that election, who is truly from Umueri, who has been accredited, must have the card as a means of identification. Umueri are doing ourselves. So it will not be a problem or a worry to any of you on how many cards the electoral committee will be coming up with. But the truth of the matter is that whoever that is being accredited must have a card which is a sign or an evidence that the person has been accredited.
Chairman, sir, if we get this accreditation process,
Yes.
right,
Yes, exactly.
if we get the accreditation process, okay, as a politician, I'm speaking not as a experience, but experience. It is through accreditation that the elections are approved. So let us know when the cards are issued. Is it, yes, you are from the card, or after that, you go back to start bringing cards. Let us know when the cards are issued. Because we want people to sign, a form.
Yes.
Let them know, because if we sign. Accreditation will dissolve this election, or not will make it okay. So address it conclusively.
Okay, look at it now. Let me
let me see. Just like you said, accreditation determines the outcome of any election. And that is why the committee have done everything possible to see that we do such things that will make the process very transparent. Now, if you are from Umueri and the people concerned about identifying the Umueri people identifies you as one, just like the chairman said, there's provisions for Umueri according to quotas. There will be canopies, there will be shares. So the moment you are accredited, you fall into the canopy with your card. With your card, yes. Yes, before the election proper. Yes. So you have the card, you sit down there, and the moment you sit, you are not going anywhere. You understand? Then the moment everybody now have the card, depending on the time when the the election proper will commence. You understand? Then people will queue according to their quotas. Then start voting.
There is a way this election is being done a long time ago. I suggest we go back to that pattern. There was never a period or a day like this type of accreditation has been experienced in Umueri. It is unfair. I heard about it that some people with the electoral committee is going to hand over some card to people. We are conducting this election at the open place. Assuming we are conducting this election at the hall, that will be guaranteed. But this will be happen at But this will happen at the field. At the field, someone will come from the other side with card and just put it. If I may suggest, please let's do this thing as we are doing it before. I'm not in support of any card issue in this aspect. Thank you.
Once more, me can imagine. First of all, we asked two questions. The one that borders on innovation. They say the only constant thing on earth is change. Especially when it is changed for better. I will give you an example. Are you listening, sir?
Yes, sir.
Recently, an election was conducted in Umueri and I was there live. So, a new innovation was introduced here. That innovation was that instead of conducting elections according to posts, if you are vying for PG, have your own lineup, and that is all. Pick your own vice, your own secretary, your own provost, your own everything. And once the election is done, if this person emerges as the PG, every other person behind him is a winner. So the election there was conducted once, and that was first innovation in the body, and you can ask there are neighbors here. So that is about that. Then coming to the issue of fear of rigging, I think from what the PG earlier said, I reasonably believe that there is no registered voter, register of voters. There's no register of voters in Umueri. That is one. Then to allay your fears, what will happen is, just as we say, when people come, they get accredited and they give their card. At the end, you now know the total number of people accredited.
Yes.
All the contestants will get that figure. But this is the number from here, this number from here, this number from here. You totally, you know that this is the number. If at the end of the election, there is more, then you fought it. It could be less because some people, after being accredited, they decide not to vote. You will see some people, we witnessed it in the barrier, some people who were accredited, when time for queuing came, they refused to go. They say they won't go. So, and that is it. That's just what I want to say. Because we don't overflow issues. Thank you.
Let me just... wait for this guy. Bring down the calm down, calm down.
Please listen up.
What is causing the confusion now is the issue of that card. Well, the explanation I've gotten from the electoral officer I don't think the card should be an issue. Because one, the card is just a sign of identification. Even if you print 1 million cards, and from this quarter, there are 10 people, and you have identified those 10 people, and they are given cards, 10 cards. It's an option A4. The PG is standing, people will fight behind us, and you count. So even if you are giving, if you feel there might be people coming in, there are security agencies around. The people sitting are the ones going to vote. We are there as observers. We are there to enforce. We are not just coming to observe. If there are any threats, we enforce. So be rest assured that based on the number of people with the card and the option A4, they will be lining up. You count with their cards to identify, and the records are taken. Everybody can be an observer. You have phones, you can record. At the end of the day, you know the number of people voted, like the DPO said. Some people might choose not to vote. They might say, okay, my candidate is provost. It's only provost I'll vote for. Some can say it's vice PG I'll vote for. So when they call PG, I might be sitting down. I say, I'm not interested in PG. I'm interested in only vice PG and provost. So when PG can be 1 million, vice PG can be 300, like that, the numbers can stagger. But you are rest assured that only people that have that card that will vote. And that is that's not how I see it.
I stand on the existing protocol. My name is John Chukwudi. I'm one of the contestants for the President General of Umueri. From my understanding, the requirement to obtain that card is you must be a citizen of Umueri. Period. Is there another requirement? No, there's one more. You have to be 18 years or above. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have a problem with that. Anybody else have a problem with that? I have a problem with that. Just in base of identifying Umueri citizens. Because this election is for only Umueri. So it's very straightforward.
Okay,
thank you.
If I may recall back, the first question you asked was to know the number of cards the electoral committee will bring into the floor. Correct. Now, would it be okay by you to bring 1,000 cards? Then when it finishes, what happens? Because we do not know the actual number of people coming for that election. That is one. Two, I can understand you have the Umueri Constitution in your hand. But I must tell you that it's not everything that is in that Constitution that we are practicing in Umueri. Certain things are set aside. Based on, no wait, certain things are set aside, or certain decisions as imbibed in that Constitution are set aside when certain matters come up in the interest of peace and harmony in Umueri. So what the electoral committee did was to devise the best means, whether old or new. Just like the DPO said, the only permanent thing in life is change. We have to change. We have to. The world is evolving, okay, and we are in jet age. We must not continue the old way things are done in the past. Okay, so what the electoral committee came up with was an innovation, a new way of doing things to make it transparent and open. Then I want to also remind you that the card in question is not to be casted. It's a means of identification. So now we are going to bring 1,000 cards. Is that okay by you? Then when the people accredited is above or are above 1,000, we go and bring another one. You have your campaign team, your DG is here, you have other people who are supporting you. They will be there and everything will be done openly. Let me now, if the card is not up to 1,000 by the electoral committee, let them get us 1,000 cards. Come to the field and count it, 1, 2, until it gets to 1,000. You have to be okay by you. Then when we are done and the card is not enough, as a matter of fact, I know that there is no way 1,000 Umuerians will come for this election. But for us not to have issues with the card, it's better we produce more. than less. So the committee, Mr. Electoral Committee Chairman, you are coming up with 1,000 cards for accreditation. Any other problem? No, thank you. Let's see what this one wants.
Okay. My name is Pastor Obama. I want to, not even a question, I want people to understand where we're going to. If you see the political and the campaign arithmetic of this process, I believe there will not be a room for fraud, or not be a room for violence. So when we are talking about card accreditation, we notice that CTC chairman said we have to print only 1,000 cards. We'll put it there, you see, calculate from Umueri and all these places. You know, people that will participate for the election, there will be more than 1,000 people. So what I'm saying is that I'm assuring my brother, he has his DG campaign manager. You understand, that day, everybody will come with the DG. They will come and know how many number of the card, accreditation card. They will count it and they will count it.
Well, that was what he explained earlier. Yes,
so they will take note of it.
He explained that the cards, that after the identification, the contestant will come and identify the people with the cards.
The electoral committee chairman.
And he wanted to know the number. So what will happen? Listen, direction. What will happen is that if the 1,000 cards happens not to be enough, the process will wait while the committee will go and print another one. No, that's very true. No. Then, anytime, sorry, please. I'm reading on this matter, it's taking our time. Anytime we are done with accreditation and ensure that everybody has been accredited. Because the worst we can do is to disenfranchise Umueri. Okay? So, there is no way anybody who is a true son of Umueri will come that day and will not vote. So if the card finishes, we will provision for another one. Amen. Before the election commences. I hope it's not on this matter too.
Yeah, I will recommend. Let's keep 5,000 and 10,000.
No problem, sir. No, we are done with that. No, we are done with that one. No problem. So that's for that. So, gentlemen.
In addition, just one thing. Please, in addition, we want to remind all of you here, even though you are from the camp of SNA and you do not belong to AC, please don't go and sit down where they are sitting down. You must go to your quarter and sit down. You must go to your quarter where you belong, the quarter you are coming from. That is where you go and sit down. We are not going to entertain an Otuocha man being in this area. We are not going to entertain that. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, so far so good. We have exhausted our time. This process was to take place between 10 and 11, just 1 hour program. But as you can see, it's taking us more than 2 hours now, thereabout. So, but the most important thing is to get it right. And to the best of my knowledge, I think we are doing everything possible to see that we have a peaceful election. My last word for the contestants is to pray to win that day. If you do not win, join those who have won. In any election where 2 people contest, 1 person must win. Okay? But what matters is the sportsmanship, the patriotism, you understand, to accept the outcome, the glaring outcome of the electoral process and do what? And identify with the other winner, give your support and everything in the interest of Umueri and actualization of Umueri program. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Any moment from now, we're going to start with the sign of the peace accord. Mr. Chairman, where are you starting?
Starting from the PG. Okay. The 2 of the pages. Not one place. 2 of the pages. You have a minute to glance. After glancing, you sign your code. You have a minute to glance. After glancing, you sign your code. No. Please, don't go there. Don't allow that.
World TV bringing you the signing of the peace pact between the contestants for the various positions in the Umueri General Assembly general elections coming up on the 5th of March 2022. Here is Chief Ezen Nyangweke signing the peace pact. Sign. Here is Chief Johnny Mage here. So having read it, he signs.
I ended the level that side because all the
The process is on.
One minute.
No arguments.
The PG candidates reading the peace pact before appending their signatures.
We are still in session. Please.
One house, please.
Please sign and leave this place. Or I don't. Please sign and leave this place. Right there, after I sign it.
Agaba, you are questioning the integrity of my office. And I want you to desist from that.
I'm sorry, sir.
Question the integrity of this office.
Sorry, sir. What do you see? Since 4 years now, the vice PG, okay. The two secretaries. Yes. You have a minute to glance and sign everything. You have a minute to sign, glance and sign everything.
The candidates for secretary. They have a minute each to read the pact before signing. And they are signing.
Include the dates after your signature.
I write to the electoral committee requesting for a copy of the
You need to glance aside.
Was it contestant?
Insect.
Osman. How's that like? No. Osman, how far?
Sign upon a camera. They did to